All right, so today we are going to go over Wintonbury Hills Golf Club. This is going to be the site of both the Computer Merchant this weekend and the IMG Qualifier next weekend. So we'll be going over this for these next two. So we'll start off right at the rip here. First hole. Basically, the only thing we really need to worry about is keeping it short of these bunkers. So we're all going to be playing different tees. So I'm not going to go over yardages or clubs off the tee. Basically, just choosing where we want the golf ball to finish. So find these numbers off the tee, and we're just going to try to keep it short of the bunker. We're going to favor slightly right center of this fairway, and at that, we'll only have at this point less than 100 yards in. So that's the only big key off of one. Moving to the second one, we are going to essentially use this bunker as our target. So we're going to try to finish it right at that bunker. Again, find your yardage to where this fairway starts to narrow. If we can keep that bunker in line with where we're going, we have about the widest section of the fairway and not long into the second hole. So on the approach shot into this, we are just going to favor kind of the left middle of this green. Don't get bullied into shooting for a pin back here in this corner. We're just going to try to favor that left center of that green. Moving on to three, par three. This is a long green. So we have a lot of dispersion, long and short that we can deal with, but not a ton left to right. So on this, once you've gotten your yardage, I would suggest if the situation and everything's right, maybe just hit club up one, swing it easy, just to make sure that we're not missing it on a short-sided spot where an up and down would be difficult. Got a long, big green to work with, so let's take advantage of that. Fourth hole. Let's go back to there. So pretty much just going to favor the right edge of this fairway. We have room on the right. There's tree trouble on the left, so we're just going to stay out of that. Give us a good angle into the green. So favoring the right side of this. Remember, all of our targets are finish, so we're going to finish there. I don't care if you hit draw or fade. It's going to keep us out of anything that's going to inhibit us from going into the green or near the green on the next shot. It is a par five. So whether you're going for it or laying up, I think in both scenarios, short and left are your best plays. There's plenty of room left and short of the green here for an easy up and down, whether it's for birdie or par. But anything long and right is where it's going to get us into trouble. So if you're going to lay up because you have a green light situation, go for it. But we're going to try to favor short and left of that green. All right, moving on. Sorry, I need to move this so I can see what hole we're on. Okay, so fifth hole. Off the tee, again, don't care what club you hit. I just want you to keep it short of this bunker. It is a tempting potential drivable par four. I would suggest for most of us, let's just find a fairway with a good yardage in that we can feel comfortable hitting a wedge in, and not push it. So the problem with going for it is these bunkers on the right-hand side. These are more than likely going to be short-siding us onto our next shot. So I would say let's just hit a wedge to here, short of this bunker. It is a little bit downhill, so make sure we make that into calculations. But take something nice and easy off the tee, leave it short of the bunker, have an easy wedge in, stress-free. Sixth hole, we are going to use the fairway bunker in the middle of the fairway as our aim point. Obviously, you'll notice we're not going to get there, but that's going to give us a good line off the tee to try to finish our ball there. With the angle of these tee boxes, I would imagine from where when you're gonna be setting up, it's going to kind of force your perspective to be aiming more left than you think. So try not to get fooled into that. Just keep that bunker as that finish point. That's going to give you plenty of room to land the golf ball and give you a good target to commit to aiming at. As we go up to the green, there's definitely some room short. The right side of this green, however, there's a big steep drop off. So if we're going to favor kind of left or sorry, short and center of this green, but left misses are going to be small less misses are going to be slightly better. So just keep that in mind that right of this green has a big slope to it. Seventh hole, par three, pretty clear from water, lots of bunkers, waste areas. We're just going to shoot for the right edge of the screen, take all the big trouble out of play. So right, maybe short, but we're going to avoid everything left and really short and avoid the water. Pretty simple on that one. So eighth hole, par five. So long par five. And a lot of times when we hear long par five, we say, I got to go up there and rip a driver to get myself close. However, this is one of those scenarios which luckily it's long enough that we're not going to be going for it anyways. We're going to be laying up. So we don't need to risk swinging aggressively with driver and mishitting it. So I don't care what you play off the tee, but I want you to find whatever you're most comfortable hitting it in the fairway here, which is more than likely going to be short of these bunkers. So find those bunkers off the tee, find that yardage, find something that you're going to hit well, solid, and then you know you can control because we're going to be laying up for this anyways. So there's no point in making it harder than it needs to be. As we're going up the hole, right, it's obviously pretty clear. You're going to see hazard left, more room to your right. So all of our targets are going to favor the right-hand side all the way down the hole. But nice and easy off the tee. Don't need to pound it. Lay up to a yardage that you like going into the green. It is a small target green. So just play it smart. Keep yourself out of trouble. Ninth hole, same thing. Anytime you're seeing a lot of these bunkers, okay, it's not a problem if you miss in the bunker unless it's short siding yourself to a pin. So don't go aggressively at pins if the miss is going to be the bunker closest to the pin, right? We're okay with bunker shots as long as we have the room. So don't get suckered into a pin and then leave it short sided in one of those bunkers. So just play to the fat side of the green away from the pin where the bunker is not going to be in the way. Then you should be just fine. 10th hole. This essentially, I want you to take a look, right? We have the 18th fairway coming up this side, and then we have not great area on the right. So utilize both fairways if you have to. Where I put this driving target, pretty much right in the middle of both. If we're trying to finish the golf ball there, if we miss it left, it's actually fairway. If we miss it right, it's actually fairway. There's no reason that we can't utilize a little bit of the hole next to us to make sure that we have a good angle into the screen and we're avoiding trouble. So don't be afraid to try to finish this golf ball in that left rough. More than likely not going to get to these bunkers, and you're not going to be short enough to get in these ones either. So we've got this nice little patch of grass, fairway on either side. So more left on 10 than you might think. Interesting little hole here at the 11th. So bunkers right in the middle, but you'll notice there's a decent amount of room on either side, especially where we're going to be landing it, probably more kind of short of this. So again, we're going to use the bunkers as an aiming point, and now you just get to pick the ball flight that you're most comfortable with, and I want you to purposely curve it away from the bunkers. You have the room left and right to work it. So instead of trying to squeeze it into a tiny little fairway, think of the entire fairway as your target and then just curve it out of the center. That way, as I'm sure you guys all know, it's very rare that we hit the driver exactly where we want to anyways. So we're going to use that to our advantage to stay out of the trouble, get ourselves in the fairway. going to skip the 12th hole. Pretty simple par three there. You guys can handle that. Head up to 13. So pretty tight driving hole, but a lot more room on the right-hand side. So we are just going to basically favor slightly right on this. And again, this is one of those holes where it's a par five, decently long. So we're not going to rip driver just because it's a long hole. We're going to find something that we can hit off of the tee that we know we can find the fairway. Whether that's a club down, that's fine. It's a par five. We lay up. We're okay. So club down, maybe a choke driver, something a little bit smoother, lighter. We don't need distance off this hole. What we do need is a fairway. If we're in the rough or in the trees, obviously it's just going to be a punch out, get back in play because we have another shot in regulation to get to the screen. So use par fives as an advantage, not for scoring, but for taking the pressure off of having to hit it a long ways. You get 3 shots. You don't need the last one to be super short. Just find something that you can put in the fairway, keep it in play, and go from there. 14, another one. So this stretch of kind of 13, 14, 15, you'll notice is pretty tricky, especially off the tee. So fairway finder shots, light swings, maybe less club. Playing to, if you need to play to a point where you're going to have to get up and down for par, but from the right spot is better than putting yourself out of play off the tee. So there's not a great, there's no bailouts here. So we have to hit a good shot. So let's take it down the pressure a little bit and just focus on getting the shot in play. So basically center the fairway here, but something that we know we can control. Let's see, moving to 15. Again, you're gonna see the same thing, right? Very tight driving. So this is it, basically the dispersion of what we'd put as a driver, a decently far driver. So again, you'll notice that we're gonna need something that we can control. So pick a ball flight, pick a tempo. And yes, it's a long hole, or it can be a long hole, but there's plenty of room to make a really easy up and down for par, short and slightly left of this green. So if you're in trouble, don't worry about going for the green. Try to put it here, get up and down and save that par there. Or if you have a real long club and you're worried about trying to get it back to the very back of the green or to the center of the green, short and left is fine. It's just a routine up and down, which we do all the time. So again, in play, trumps far all day long. So just find the fairways, keep it in play, make yourself comfortable. Moving on to 16. Starts to open up again, which we like. Let me turn this back on. There we go. Here, a lot more room. So we're going to favor pretty much the left edge of that fairway. If we're in the left rough, that's fine. It's not a long hole. We'll have plenty of options out of the rough, even if it's over there, but half of them are going to be at least in the fairway. So left rough off 16, nothing else too crazy that we need to worry about. 17. So I can imagine they're going to want to put a pin down here on that left side to tempt you to going for it. Don't let it sucker you in. We're going to go for the right edge of this green, right in the center of the green distance wise, and just either get up and down or just 2-putt from a little bit of a distance. Don't get fooled into going for this left. It's going to drop off. There's bunkers, unnecessary risks. Then 18, very similar to that 10th hole, right? The 10th hole came back this way. We're going to favor that left rough all day long. Gives us plenty of room from what I would imagine is either hazard or out of bounds right. So use both fairways just as you did before. We're going to aim in that left rough. Make sure it's in play. Definitely not a long finishing hole for that either. So overall fairly simple. It's a seems like a fairly easy golf course to keep yourself in play. That stretch of 13 through 16, that's when we're going to start choosing some maybe more conservative plays off the tee. Make sure we're prioritizing keeping the ball in play, even though they might be a little bit longer second shots. That's where we're going to lean on the short game. We can utilize every bit of our game to make sure we're staying out of trouble. Um, so I think Brady, you're the only one in here still. But do you have any questions before we finish up?
No, I think I'm good. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. So if anyone has any questions after watching this, please feel free to reach out. I know we went through it pretty quickly, but hopefully this gives you enough of that. The yardage books are up on the Google Drive, so get them downloaded. If you're having troubles with that, please reach out as well. Ian is going to be there on Saturday to watch you guys play and to help you before. So utilize him if you need. And other than that, have fun. Should be some nice weather finally. So looking forward to seeing you guys play and have a good one.